All right, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. I appreciate what you do covering our team. I was very proud of our team last week in Miami. Our entire organization did an outstanding job. It was a complete team win on the road in a very tough environment. I'm really excited to get back home and to Spartan Stadium, the Woodshed on Saturday night. It's to play in front of our fans. It's going to be special. Our players are excited about it, and we're really looking forward to the opportunity. Our home season opener we had a great crowd, and it was just a really good feeling to be back in our stadium in the Woodshed with our fans. With this game being a night game, I anticipate it being pretty rowdy in there, being pretty loud. I believe that Nebraskas, I think they requested maybe 2,500 tickets, so I don't expect there'll be one more Husker body in the stands than that. It'll be Spartans, and we'll be loud, and we'll be getting after it. It should be intense. It should be deafening. I anticipate that. When we're on defense, especially on third down, I don't think anybody should be able to hear anything, and it should be an advantage for us with the passion of our fans. You know, Michigan State football. This is a football town, and our fans are hungry. Our fans are hungry for good football, and so I really appreciate their support. We had great support down in Miami, and I'm looking forward to getting after it in the stadium this Saturday night. When you go into when you have a home game, you don't get that many opportunities. You have to be at your best, and you have to put a product on the field that the fans and that everyone can respect and everyone can appreciate and pull for. And so the energy in the stadium and the intensity and the focus, is going to be there, and it should be, and I believe that it will be one of the toughest places to play in the country. People should not want to come to Spartan Stadium and play in the Woodshed, and it should be a factor. And when I was here and before with Coach, it was certainly that, and I know it has been that over the years. And so that's why we're really looking forward to getting back in our stadium on Saturday night. I know the student section is going to be in full force. I know it was sold out in our first home game. I hope that they get there early, and I would love for our fans and for our students to be waiting on us when we come out for warm-ups, and that place be loud. I know one thing about our team, and guys are going to play hard and they're going to leave it all out on the field. And our fans and our students, I'm going to ask them to empty their buckets and leave it all in the Woodshed on Saturday night. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
You can just state your name and affiliation. Thank you.
Hey, my friend, you're Matt with them. I was wondering, after the first 3 weeks, you are obviously still undefeated, ranked team. Is addressing how the players handle success something that comes up this week?
You talking about the mindset of the players being 3-0?
Yeah.
You have to address it, and we addressed it. Is what's most important is what we do next, always. And I asked the players yesterday morning. I said, "How's 3-9 sound to you?" And they said it didn't sound too good. So I said, "Well, it's about what we do next." meaning like right now in the meetings and when we go on the field. And the focus was there, and today we had a Coach Me Coach Tuesday, and it was intense, and we got our hitting in and our first and second down, preliminary game plan in, and so I didn't see any letdown. I look at not what the players and the coaches, not what they say, but what they do, because your actions speak so loudly. I cannot hear what you're saying. So what I saw today on the field was a team that was looking to get better, that was desperate for improvement. When I leave here, I'll watch the tape and see if we can verify that.
Jack Ebling, drive, press pass. Now, what's the big difference between the Nebraska team that stumbled at Oklahoma and the one that nearly stumbled at Illinois, and then the one that nearly won at Oklahoma? And do you see some similarities with Martinez and with King?
Well, I don't know what the difference is. I mean, every game, has its own story. Every play has a history and a life of its own. Martinez is a very good quarterback, and from when over the years, he's improved. He's gotten better, and that's a credit to him and to the coaching staff. He can beat you throwing, and he can beat you with design runs, and he can also beat you, on some loose plays and some scrambles and some things like that. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense. We have to have a coordinated pass rush, whether it's with 3, 4, 5, or 6. We have to make sure that the rush lanes are filled up, and we have to have great coverage behind it. We have to have rush and coverage working together. I know that they're working to get better. They're explosive on offense, and they're playing at a high level on defense. And it's a Big Ten football game, and it's going to be it'll be a double mouthpiece game. That's what it's going to be.
No, Player Matt Sherman, you talked a lot since you've been here about the culture and how you want to cement that. And you're talking today about the crowd and the fans and how important they are. How much of this do you think is a reflection of you two when they see, you headbutt guys during the game, or, this tough coming thing that people talk about all the time? How important is your role in kind of being the face of that culture that you want people to understand that's what Michigan State is?
Well, I believe in being transparent and open, not just saying this is what we're doing and explaining it, but going in great detail as much as I possibly can about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and I've tried to do that and make our coaches accessible also to the media, and then all of our players as well. So everyone can actually see what's happening here. We don't have anything to hide, so to speak, and so any of the excitement about our team, it's I believe it's organic. It's not forced, and a lot of it is based upon results on the field. You're always hopeful and encouraged about a season, but at the end of the day, it's what actually happens on the field on game day. And so thus far, we've been able to find a way to win some games. And we have improved as a football team. We're not where we need to be yet. And so, is that a tribute to me? I think it's probably more attributed to, our entire organization and our football culture and everyone involved in it. Because it takes everyone pulling in the same direction to get a team going. It's like trying to turn a battleship, and you don't have a lot of time. There's a sense of urgency to get that done, and so but if it's me, I may have some role in that. But it's, I'm not a one-man show by any stretch of the imagination.
Do you feel that energy around town, that buy-in, not just from people in the program, but from people around town? And when you hear that or see that phrase, "Stop coming," what does that mean to you? Do you like that, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I'm not sure what it means. It can't, I mean, what does it mean? But I know we got the game scheduled and we got dates on them, and God willing, I'll be there. But outside of that, what was the rest of your question? I'm sorry.
Do you feel that energy and that buy-in from fans from around town? Do you feel that excitement kind of building now the way the season started?
I do feel it. And it's motivating. It's when you feel people and people are pulling for you and they want you to do well. That's energizing. It just kind of adds fuel to it. We look to create our own energy, create our own momentum, within our organization. But we're all connected. We're all connected in some way. And so we bring the energy, we bring the excitement, we bring the passion, we bring the intensity, we bring the work ethic, and our fans and our supporters can see it, and it's reflected on the field, and we're able to get results. Then because we're all connected, organically it's gonna have an effect, a positive effect on folks, and that's what we're here to do. I mean, we're here to serve. We're here to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. We're here to serve the university community, East Lansing, the state of Michigan, all of our supporters, donors, alumni, former players across the country and throughout the world. That's what we're here to do, is to represent them. So, we don't take that lightly. So every day that we're here, we're very intentional about going about our business so that we can get better and be at our best.
Right here in front, Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports. Just curious, what's the thing you've seen from Dayton Thornton through these 3 games that you've liked the best? Whether it's a stat, a performance, a tangible, intangible, practice game, but just through these 3 weeks, what do you like best about what he's done?
Well, I think your quarterback has to be your number 1 competitor on this team. That's a tough duty because we have a lot of very strong competitors on this team, but he is one of them. And he's leading and he's taking care of the football. And so that's very important at that position. If you have a leader who competes, take care of the football, get us out of bad plays, get us into good plays, take what the defense is giving us, and do that on a consistent basis, day in and day out, and be very intentional about everything that you do, attention to detail and sense of urgency, then, at the quarterback position, then you have a chance. And so that's what I'm seeing from him.
Fred Human, WILX.
Fred.
How you doing?
Good to see you, Fred.
Do you sense that your team is developing a little bit of a swagger? And if so, is that a good thing?
Is that a good thing?
I don't mean cocky, I mean just kind of a swagger.
Yeah, you guys are asking me some tough questions today because tuck coming, I'm not sure what that means. Swagger, I'm not sure what that is. I mean, what is the definition of swagger? Our goal is to play physical, hard-nosed football, fundamentally sound, be in great shape, play smart, be situationally sound, be disciplined, and play fast because we know what we're doing, and be physical. I mean, that's our goal. That every single day we talk about that, and we celebrate that and show examples of that, and then when we don't get that, then we confront and demand that we do get those things, because that's what gives you a chance to win football games, at any level. And so what comes with that, you expect the players to play with confidence based upon their preparation, and it's one thing to be ready, it's another thing to be prepared. I don't want a team that's ready to play. I want a team that's prepared to play. And if you are prepared, then in anything that you do, whether it could be an exam, a final exam, whatever, if you're prepared, then you can take that test and have confidence in your ability to perform and get the job done. And so that's what we're doing. Maybe that's what you might be seeing from our players, but we don't talk about swagger because we're more of a meat and potatoes outfit. Not a lot of French pastry. It's more of a just kind of a the essence of the game of football. Blocking, tackling, never getting bored with the fundamentals. Playing as a team, being unselfish. And putting the work in. Knowing that we only have so many opportunities where we actually get to play a game. And so whatever comes out of that, it's going to happen. And like Duffy Doherty, he said, you have to have a wishbone. What you have to dream big and have big goals, and you have to have a backbone, which is that hard work and rolling your sleeves up and grinding every day. And you gotta have a funny bone, and you gotta have 3 bones. And so with all of what we're doing, we want to have fun as well, because this is a game. It is a game. It's a great game. In North Dallas 40, they say, when I want to call it a game, you want to call it a business. When I want to call it a business, you want to call it a game. This is a game that we all enjoy, not just playing and loving, but living. And so there's going to be an element of fun to it as well, which may be seen as swagger.
Happy Tuesday, Audrey Dahlman, CBS in Lansing.
Thank you. Happy Coach Me Coach Tuesday to you.
It's obviously very early, but through the first 3 games of the season, you guys continue to break down barriers, and Peyton Thorne is the latest example of that. 4 touchdown passes back-to-back games since Connor Cook in 2015. But how are you seeing this buy-in, and how can this buy-in help you go forward for the rest of the season when it comes to accomplishing certain goals?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for that. So, how do I assess buy-in? Typically, my experience has been you're going to have a percentage of your players that are going to be bought in, like pretty much right away. They see what your message is, what the plan is, they're all in. You're going to have some players that are not bought in at all. You're going to have guys in the middle. And want to get those guys in the middle to move over into the buy-in side. And the guys that are never going to buy in, it's probably not the place for them. And when you start to see, when you know that there's a higher percentage of your team that's bought in, you start to hear players repeating things back to you. You know, things that we tell the players when you're in practice and in your meetings, you start to hear them say those things to their teammates or back to you as a coach, whatever. And that's when, you know, you have buy-in. Like if you hear players tell another player to finish, if you hear another player, you hear a player telling a guy, hey, you know, jog off the field, or tuck your shirt in, or get behind the line, you know, or get your pads down, or get your hands inside, you know, or run to the ball, you know, or seal the bay, or deep water, or relentless, or culture, you know, those types of things, you know, conditioning. When you hear them saying those things, that means that they're believing in what you're doing, and they believe it to the point where they actually have the confidence and the want to actually verbalize it to have a positive effect on someone else. So that's kind of how I assess the buy-in.
Coach Dalton Shepard, Spartan Media Network. You and Michigan State football have been very active on social media, referring to Spartan Stadium as the woodshed today and yesterday. You offered a history lesson about it yesterday, but could you give us that origin, that history on how that came to be and what it means to the players and coaches?
Well, it's my understanding that Golden Pat Rule, who I know I was here when he was here. He was an offensive line coach. You know, he coined that, the Spartan Stadium, the woodshed. I think it was a year, you know, after I left when I was coaching at Miami, Ohio, maybe in '99. And they had a really good home record. And, you know, Golden, I don't know if you guys remember Golden Pat Rule. He was, you know, quite the character, and he really, I can remember him going out in fall camp, and this one used to have 2-a-days in like August, and he was coaching the offensive line in a winter coat, you know, and basically saying, you know, he was jogging around, he had the players jogging behind him saying, no sign of weakness, no sign of weakness, no sign of weakness. I mean, he was all into the mental toughness part of it. And so it doesn't surprise me that he would coin the stadium, you know, the woodshed, which, you know, I like that because, you know, it's rugged, you know, and it's a connotation that it's, you know, kind of a basic place to get work done, you know, where, you know, work is going to get done, and, you know, things are going to get stacked up, and it's going to have some elbow grease involved in getting it done. So, but that's 20 years, you know, so that's not something that's new, and so it's important to our players and some of our former players, and it's important for us to connect our current players and our staff with our former players, because tradition is a big part of your culture and your program and your foundation. And so as much as we can connect, because I'm really big on connection, as much as we connect, as much as we can do that, I believe that the stronger program we're going to have, and the stronger, it strengthens our culture, because we want to build something that has staying power, that year in and year out, you know what you're going to get. Someone brought up Wisconsin, early when I was there, with Coach Alvarez in his first recruiting class, we were 1-10, 5-6, 5-6 in a Rose Bowl. But there are certain programs that you pretty much know what you're going to get out of them year in and year out. And so but that's built on a solid foundation, solid culture and accountability. Not just to the current team and each other on the team, but also to former players and things like that. Because this is this program was here before we got here, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this Spartan football program to get it to where it is today. And so we're stewards of this program, and we need to move it forward and keep it on the rise. And our goal is to be the best.
If not, a couple more, Graham, Cole.
Mel, Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal. I'm wondering, when you look back at the film from last week, are there things that stood out to you that maybe you didn't catch the post game, or maybe we might not have seen? I'm thinking of a couple receiver blocks that were really important downfield, or anything that you really liked or concerned you that maybe weren't at first glance?
I didn't see anything really on the tape that I didn't see during the game, for the most part. But what I saw during the game is, I saw receivers, tight ends blocking downfield in the run game, obviously, and I saw guys playing extremely hard. I saw the defense, executing a game plan, which is important because it's very important, offensively, defensively, and special teams, to play the game you need to play that week to give yourself the best chance to win the game. Whatever that is, because when you look at an offense, it's like who to stop, what to stop, and how we're going to stop them. And I saw a defense says, hey, we're going to stop the run. We need to stop the run, do our best to make this team one-dimensional, and force the quarterback to beat us throwing the ball in the pocket on a consistent basis for 60 minutes. That's the plan. And we don't care. We're not in the stats. Stats are for losers. We're going to execute the plan and give us the best chance to then play complementary football. Offense, defense, and special teams working together for 60 minutes and be ready to go into the 15th round and go the long, hard way with it. I saw that, but there's, also I saw some things that I saw on the field that we need to improve upon, that we were actually, making adjustments and improving during the game. Tackling, things like that. Some of the penalties. We had, I don't know. The penalty yards are one thing, but the yardage lost is actually another thing. We damn near had, I don't know, it might have been like 90 yards and lost yardage, on penalties and things like that. So those things we need to clean up. And we left a lot of plays on the field in the first half, offensively, in the run game and the pass game. We left some plays out there, and so we need to be able to create momentum and make big plays and control field position in the special teams. And so again, like we had a penalty on our punt return team, and which caused our defense to have to go back out there and be exposed for more plays. We got them stopped, but but actually it cost us 15 yards of field position at the end of the day when you look at the end of that series. And so, there's so many things that we have to correct and improve upon. And usually when you see it on the field and you see it on tape, it's a feeling that's hard to describe, but it can make you sick, literally, to your stomach. When you turn on the tape and you say, man, if we just make this block, or if we practice this a million times, or we just make this call and get this done here, or if we just, leverage the ball and do this or whatever. I mean, stuff that we do, fundamental things, eye discipline, whatever, we do that, they don't get that play. They do that, we don't get that play. We just do this, they don't get that, We score here, or we get a first down here, or we get off the field on third down here. And so then when the players come in, when they come back to get ready for the next week, that's when that process of corrections takes place, and then moving on to the next opponent. So I don't see any room for complacency. I don't see between the stuff we need to fix and then we need to prepare for the next opponent. I don't know where there would be a room for any type of complacency or easing up. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't resonate with me. To me, that's insanity. And one of the greatest dangers that we can face is to believe all is well when indeed all is not well, and all is not well, and we know that. So we're working to get better.
You mentioned the deep water after the Miami game. I'm just wondering, what's your definition of the deep water? How do you get to the deep water? And is your team prepared to stay in the deep water?
Well, this deep water thing is taking on a life of its own. It's like you want to capture the players' minds and relate to the players, give them something that they can relate to get the message across, is that we are built to play 4 quarters, 60 minutes in the game or more. That's what we're built to do. That's why we train. And in order to do that, we have to push our players to the limits mentally and physically on a day-to-day basis. And that is not comfortable for anyone. It's not comfortable for the coaches. It's not comfortable for the players. It's not comfortable for the trainers or the equipment folks or anyone in our practice environment. Is not comfortable. And so, and then the goal is to where the players and the staff and everyone can be comfortable being uncomfortable, and then we can still operate in that space where there's a sense of urgency, where there's pain, where there's pressure, where there's stress, where you have to strain, where you have to sometimes recommit to what you're doing, and so that right there is sometimes that's a road less traveled over there, and we try to stay. We're on that road every day, and so it's not to say the other teams aren't. I'm sure that they are, but we want to make sure that we're prepared and we're ready for whatever momentum swings in the game, adversity, whatever it is. We want to keep chopping, keep playing, be resilient, and trust our training and know that we can go into the third quarter, fourth quarter, and actually get stronger. And we want to be there. That's where we want to be. I mean, our numbers, like our GPS numbers, we actually played faster in the fourth quarter than we did in the first quarter in the heat. So we were built to do that, and that's part of the plan. So, the deep water is pretty much just imagery to, relate to the players, where, so they understand where they are and where we're comfortable being, because, that's not always the case, and there's nothing casual about what we're doing. From the minute these guys walk in here to the minute they leave out of here, there's a tremendous amount of work being done, and it has to be done a certain way, and it never stops, and there's never any let up. Like I tell the players all the time, you can't wear me down. So, I mean, it's gonna be like this every day. I mean, I go all day. So, get with it, or it's not gonna be. You're not gonna have any fun. And our guys are embracing that. They're embracing that because that's preparation, that's training. That's not being ready. It's not being in the tunnel, jumping up and down before the game, ready to play but not prepared. Everybody's ready on Saturday. Everybody's ready, everybody. But are you prepared? And that's where our focus is always going to be. And I'm looking for any type of casualness or any type of relief syndrome. Our coaches are looking for that so that we can confront and demand that we get on track. And Audrey mentioned, buy-in. Our players are looking for that as well, and their teammates. So it's not just the coaches. We're not dragging guys around the field anymore. We're not dragging guys to practice. We're not dragging guys through the meeting. They want to be there and they want to get better. They know they're going to be and that's why Coach Me Coach Tuesday is so important, because in order to get the best out of these players, in order to get the best out of ourselves, we have to strain, we have to push, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you have to embrace that. Coach me coach, and that's what this is all about. There's nothing more, nothing less.
Phil from Lansing State Journal. Peyton Thorne, obviously enters in this game pretty hot, the back-to-back 4 touchdown games, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. Nebraska's defense also enters this game pretty hot, 7 3-points against Florida and Buffalo, and did a pretty good job shutting down a Heisman candidate in Spencer Rattler. What do you see from Nebraska's defense that provided some problems, and where do you kind of think Peyton is on the schedule development? Is he really, way ahead of where maybe you guys thought he would be at this point, or not?
Yeah, I mean, he is where he is, and so that's all that matters. Then it's important what we do next. Nebraska, they played Oklahoma, they played them tough, and they've been playing good ball all year. And then defensively, they've got some good players. I mean, some of those players I know from recruiting and things like that. I mean, they got big guys up front, and they have depth, and they got some long corners. They got some big safeties. They got some instinctive linebackers, and they play hard, And so every team that we play has players. I mean, if you turn on the Fordham game, Fordham's got players. I mean, if you watch the game, I mean, Fordham's got dudes, and Buffalo's got them too. Everybody's got guys. Everybody's got them, and so you gotta be ready every week. You gotta be prepared every week to be at your best, And if you're thinking anything other than that, then you're fooling yourself. You know, Nebraska has Scott's doing a good job. They got a good staff. Football is important in Nebraska. It's important to them, and you know they have expectations as well and standards of performance. And they're doing the same thing that we're doing right now. They're trying to find ways to get the players better, get the team better, and so that you know they can come in here and be a better version of themselves. We're doing the exact same thing, you know, and that's why you play the games.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.